Good Friday morning to you. It's my Friday morning Facebook Live. I'm Kerry, and it's a time when I talk about, I'm still settling on that name, but lately it's about channeling change, women channeling change, which is the deep reality of midlife. And this morning I wanted to talk about menopause as a rite of passage, which I truly believe it is. And another way to think of that is a metamorphosis. And in my groups and in the women that I work with, I've often spoken of it this way, and I thought I'd share that here. Metamorphosis is that process by which the caterpillar becomes the butterfly. And as I was going through this deep transformation, because that's what menopause is, it is a deep, from the inside out, no holes barred transformation. And in what happens with the caterpillar is that they are going along with their lives, as many of us are in our 40s. I think if you would talk to me about menopause at 45, it wouldn't be on my radar at all. And that's part of why I want to share this information, because it needs to be on your radar. It's happening. It will happen. It's probably already started to some degree. And why not get a little bit more awake and aware about what this change is going to be and what it's going to involve. So in Metamorphosis, the caterpillar goes along, not asking to become the butterfly at that point, but things start changing. Things start changing. They eat more, they get all plumped up, and then they start building this cocoon. And they start wrapping themselves up until they become hanging from this branch. And in that cocoon, everything happens. What happens inside is they dissolve. They dissolve, and what is left is the breath, is that track of the breath that keeps them in this process. Breath is deeply important in a yoga practice, in our menopause practice. At some point I'll speak Tumo, which is another way of thinking of hot flashes. We'll get there. So inside that cocoon, everything dissolves. And that can feel, I think in menopause, what happens is who we have been begins to dissolve. And that can be really unsettling, really scary. It's the dissolving of who we have been to learn, to do the work to who we are becoming. And that's no small thing. Who we are becoming is that person into the next 30 years of our life, because if you think roughly between 60 and 90, that's another lifetime to live. But it's a very different focus on what we did from birth to 30. We're not looking probably at the career the same way, or the relationship the same way, figuring out the schooling, how to ride a bike, to walk, to talk, to have sex, to all those things. Whatever it is, the focus is different. But what it can feel like without some reference points is like a lot of loss. And what we have in menopause is this sense of, often for women, of a deep sense of loss without understanding or being given a reference point or a mentor or the women of wisdom on the other side to say, this is what's being gained. your sovereignty, your wings, this essential self that has a voice that you never had before, that is fiery and passionate and so ready to speak her truth. Ready to speak her truth. We're channeling that change to become more fully alive in who we are. So inside that cocoon, everything's dissolving, and then everything is slowly being reformed, reconfigured. In menopause, you are being reformed and reconfigured to be plugged in a whole different circuitry to sprout the wings, to sprout your ability to soar and to fly and to be more fully alive in all of who you are, bringing all of your history, your lifetime of wisdom to the point where you've got wings to own it and make it fly, to make yourself fly however you want that to look like. You can give yourself the colors of your wings that you want. It is deep transformation, but it takes some work and it takes time. It takes an attentiveness and a willingness to dive in, to really do the transformation, because this is a rite of passage. I sometimes called it the firewoman archetype. Midlife is that ownership, that living the firewoman archetype, where she literally burns up and, like from those ashes, like the phoenix rising, finds her wings and soars. That's what's possible. So I invite you, as I bring this to a close here, to bring your hands to your heart. Just close your eyes for a moment. Maybe on the heart, or you can bring them in Anjali Mudra. Feel the beat of your heart. Feel the warmth of your hands, that cognition greeting the light within. And then as you inhale, open your arms. Spread them wide. Spread them wide. Find your wings. Find those potential of wings. Lift the heart, lift the sternum. Take a deep breath in. Be bright as you navigate this big river of change. One more breath. And then as you exhale, gather that energy back into the heart, greeting that light within, always with compassion and reverence. It is no small thing to be in a woman's body. The transformation of midlife is massive. Namaste. Thank you. I'd love to hear how any of these land for you. Put some comments in for me. Give me a sense of what works for you, what you'd like me hear me speak on. And I'm so grateful to all of you. Share it with a friend if you have a woman friend. Even a guy, the men need to know this. Anyway, so much love. Have a beautiful day, have a beautiful weekend. Namaste.